Hey everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter. Thanks for joining me today. I know you're probably really shocked to see me back because I have done so many videos this week, but I couldn't resist sharing just one more with you. And that's because the new Essentials by Ellen release is here. And guess what? Bear is making a comeback. And this bear is cracking me up because he has a brand new set that is all themed for spring. Now you're getting a really nice preview of a lot of the different sets that are here in the new Essentials by Ellen release. That Mondo Gerbera daisy is beautiful. We have some bear wear. We have some coffee themed sets. One is called a Breve note and the other is called a Latte. And there are some fabulous products in this release. And I thought that this would be a fun way to kind of give you a preview of all the good stuff. So I have a bunch of these mounted on my Misty, and I have some heavyweight Nina Solar White cardstock in my Misty. And I'm going to ink this up with some Gina K Amalgam ink in jet black. And I'm going to stamp these onto the heavyweight cardstock. Now you're going to see that when I open this up, I didn't get a couple of the areas stamped, and that's okay. I have a really good line on most parts, but there were a couple areas that I wanted to go over again. So I'm just lightly tapping the ink on that again, and I will stamp right over the top in the same spot because I'm using that Misty stamping tool, and that will give me a nice, rich, dark black outline on all of these images. Now for my coloring today, I have to be honest with you, I wasn't feeling the Copic marker thing today. Sometimes I have that. It seems like there's a lot of thought that goes into Copic markers for me. So I decided to use colored pencils and Gamsol. So I'm using Gamsol here. You may want to look it up. It can be, it's a chemical. So that's what I'm going to put out there for you. And I'm going to use this alcohol ink pen from Ranger. And I'm going to take out the brush nib. It has some like silver metal kind of edging around it where you can kind of grab it and take it out. And that's designed so that you can fill these pens up with alcohol ink. I'm going to take a pipette here and I am going to just take one of these droppers or these pipettes full of this Gamsol, and I'm going to put it right into the barrel of this alcohol ink marker. So this isn't really an alcohol ink marker, it's a Gamsol marker. And it keeps you from having all of this stuff kind of open and out on your desk. Now you can definitely use colored pencils with a blending stump and Gamsol. And I saw Jennifer McGuire and I believe Simon Hurley do this. And I gave it a try and I've had this Gamsol in this pen for a few weeks now and it's really held up well. You're going to notice that as I'm using it, the tip is stained, but that's okay. As long as you kind of scribble off the excess, you shouldn't get any transfer of the colors between. So coloring with colored pencils is one of these things that it's just kind of a no-brainer for me. It's like I don't have to think about numbers. I just grab a light and a dark and I kind of go for it. And when I blend it out with the Gamsol, I get a nice fade. So you're seeing me add just a little cream color to my bear, a little pink to his cheeks, and then just go over it with this Gamsol-filled pen and just kind of blend it out. And I'm going to show you a few images here. I'm going to end up coloring this entire sheet. I'm not going to show you that whole thing because this is really super simple. I'm using one color on each of these images, or one tone, I guess. Like I'm using one teal and not two teals and blending together. I'm keeping this really simple. And you can see I've added the teal to this cup here, and look at how well this blends out inside the mug with that coffee brown color. That Gamsol just kind of mixes and moves that colored pencil and helps it to kind of all blend out. And you get this really nice fade from light to dark. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the Gerbera daisy. I'm adding some heavy color towards the end of the petals and in the center of the petals, or in the center base of the petal. Then I'm going over this with my Gamsol marker here. And there were a couple areas where I felt like there was too stark of a contrast between the dark color and the light color in the middle. So I'm just kind of adding a little more color over those areas and then once again blending it out with the Gamsol. Now you can see all of my images are colored here and I have beautiful blends. And a lot of people think that in order to get these really nice fades and beautiful blends from light to dark, that you have to do something really complicated. And this coloring with colored pencils was not complicated at all. I really enjoyed it because, like I said, it's kind of a no-brainer. I didn't even grab a light and a dark of each color. I just grabbed one color and went for it. And then I die cut all of these images using the coordinating dies. Now while this is going through, I have to check a text message from my son because he's constantly texting me while he's at school, asking me questions like, what's for dinner? And I don't know, things like that. Can I go to Taco Bell? Those are the texts that I deal with all day long, and they constantly take my focus away from what I'm doing. But I love him. He's only going to be around for a couple more years, so I am enjoying these moments while I can. Now for Bear, he's a solid die. So I went ahead and I die cut him from some scrap white cardstock, and I'm using that negative space to help me line up the die over the stamped and colored image that I already have. And that gives me a nice die cut bear, and Bear's arms open up. I don't know if you know that. Bear, who I am calling Mr. Bear, he is from the stamp set called All Inside, and he was released several years ago. And Julie has continued to just bring him back to life with all of these fun accessories for him. He had some holiday and Halloween accessories at one time, and now he has spring accessories, and it's so much fun. Now in this video, I'm going to take all of these stamped and colored images, not all of them. I'm going to show you 3 cards. But these are really simple cards, and I wanted to show you that when you take some time on some coloring, you don't have to put together super intricate cards to make your cards interesting. You can keep it simple and allow your focus to be on those stamped and colored images. So here I am just stamping from the Bokeh dots, that kind of ring image, and that to me reminded me of like if you set your coffee cup down and it has coffee on the bottom and you leave the little coffee marks on whatever. So I stamped that behind these, and I'm arranging several of these mugs. These are from the stamp set called a Breve note, and I, by the way, will have all of the featured products listed in the description at YouTube. Over at my blog, I will have all of the products listed used in these projects, so be sure to head on over there and check that out because I also have a lot more still shots and information over there as well. Now I'm just finishing this off by adding a natural twine bow, and I added this to a craft card base with a little foam adhesive. I added some Nuvo Aqua Shimmer Pen to the coffee areas on these mugs to give them a little bit of sparkle and shine. And that's all there is to this card. A little embossed sentiment, some beautiful colored images, a little bit of stamping in the background, and you're good to go. I do really think that the dimensional adhesive helps bring these simpler cards to life. So if you're looking to bring a simple design to life, I would recommend adding just a little bit of foam adhesive. I think that helps out. Now that completes my first card. For my second card, we're going to use Mr. Bear, and he's going to hold that Mondo Gerbera daisy. I thought this was so much fun, like he's presenting this giant flower to you. I don't know, maybe he's sorry, maybe he's just saying hi. I'm not real sure, but I thought it was cute. He could also use it as an umbrella, which I think would be a really fun idea. I wanted to give him a little bit of grass to stand on, so I used the Winterscape stamp set from the Essentials by Ellen Line, and I stamped that in some twisted citron right along the bottom to give him kind of a ground to stand on. And then I'm going to add a heart, which is from the it's from the December release. It is a part of a stamp set or a die set called High Five, and I absolutely love this heart. I've been getting so much use out of it. And then this little high die cut is from the coordinating die set that goes with the Mondo Gerbera daisy image that you're seeing there. So I just die cut that from some craft cardstock, and I'm just layering all this up and adhering it with a little bit of foam adhesive. And that finishes off my second card featuring the adorable Mr. Bear making his comeback for spring, and he is hilarious with those bunny ears on, and I will have a picture of that at the end of this video, so be sure to check that out. The bunny ears are like big time winner for me. Now, while I put together my final card, and this features that cup image from Latte stamp set and the coordinating dies, I did want to talk to you about the colored pencils that I used today. Today I used the Caran Dash colored pencils. These are a high quality artist grade colored pencils, and they are really beautiful and they color really well, I'm not gonna lie. But you can try this technique with any colored pencils that you may have. So if you have Prismacolors or the Polychromos, you can absolutely use the Gamsol to blend those out as well. I own a lot of coloring products, I'm not gonna lie. And I saw these and I just really wanted to give them a try, and I've been really happy with them so far. I've used them to color several images and I'm getting great results. So if you're looking to add some more colored pencils to your stash, I definitely recommend them. But I'm also going to put the disclaimer out there that you don't have to spend a ton of money on colored pencils to get great results. The biggest things that you want to make sure that you're doing is getting some lights and some darks, creating some shadow and some contrast on your colored images, and you're going to be happy with the results every time. Now, I'm going to be also really honest here and say I don't know that this would work with Crayola colored pencils, but I can't see why it wouldn't, because they all kind of have that same base. These Caran d'Ache colored pencils have a wax base, as well as Prismacolors. They have a wax base as well. Polychromos are an oil-based colored pencils, but all of them really kind of will blend out very similarly using Gamsol. And if you don't have the alcohol marker to add your Gamsol to, you can always use a blending stump and Gamsol to do that same technique as well. Now, I did add a little latte art, and I used some textured white embossing powder from Lawn Fawn to add that latte art. I also coated that little like heart, latte art, latte heart art. I don't know, it's the die cut that goes with Latte Love stamp set. I coated that in the textured white embossing powder as well. And you can see I die cut the hands from the December release, and I have that kind of holding the cup and a little sentiment that says a hug and a mug, which I think is so adorable for this stamp set. So here's a look at all of, well, this isn't all of them. Here's a look at several of the cards that I created featuring the brand new Essentials by Ellen February 2019 release. This release has so many great products in it. I think you should go check it out. I will have it all linked over at my blog if you want to check it out there. And like I mentioned before, I will have the featured products listed in the description at YouTube. So be sure to check the description there if you're looking for something in particular. As always, thank you so much for stopping by. I did want to give you a look at some of the other cards that I made that I didn't really necessarily feature here, and remind you that I have tons more images over on my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. That'll be linked in the description below as well. So you can head on over there and get a ton of inspiration featuring this brand new release. As always, I want to thank you for stopping by and watching this video today. Thanks for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed these projects, and I hope you got some inspiration for doing a little bit of simple coloring with your colored pencils and really keeping your card designs simple to go along with it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe and turn on the notifications for my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my card making and paper crafting video tutorials. Thanks for sticking around to the very end. If you've made it this far, you are one of my favorites. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.